What's he saying now? All right, we are live. That's nice. He's
having issues.
having issues. Well, this is why you should have been ready and not play that extra game of Modern Warfare.
I don't know what the hell he's doing, dude. I know he's not playing Modern Warfare.
Or maybe I should have dropped off my car tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess you don't really have much room to talk, do you?
I don't really have that. Listen, I had planned out my day. I was like, listen, I'm going to go to one place, drop it off at 9 a.m. And then I called the other repair place, and I was like, listen, I should be getting my car back around 3. You're right up the street. He's like, yeah, come in, get it today. And I thought to myself, I'm cutting it close. I know I'm cutting it close. But if I drop my car off today, I don't have to worry about being without a car for another day. And I need my car to like complete errands and
right.
Drop stuff off at the Salvation Army and all that kind of stuff. And lo and behold, the place, like I get there, there's this dude with a wife that can only be described as Scottsdale. Like this was like the most Scottsdalian couple I'd ever met.
You don't want to run into those people.
No, and he's having a conniption about what I don't know, and then they like drive off in their Lamborghini. It was ridiculous. It was the most Scottsdale experience.
In Scottsdale fashion.
Yeah, and then the guy at the repair facility wanted to talk my ear off, and I was like, "Guy, listen, I don't have time for this.
Come on,
I got to do a podcast." And he's like, "Well, what's your podcast about?" And I was like, "I don't have time for this. Stop it."
Shat the movies. Check us out, bro.
Yeah, I wish I could talk to you about it, but I can't.
Check us out, bro.
Check us out, brah. All right, let me.
There he is, the man,
the myth, the legend. Right, there he is. Connecting to audio still, though. It's all right. How many viewers do we have? We have 0 viewers. So
good.
So that's good. Probably because we're late.
We're late.
We are late.
Jeez, we're 20 minutes late.
We are 20 minutes late. That's okay.
Fuck!
What are you upset about?
Fuck! 20 minutes late.
Guys, we have to do this podcast in 30 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta get through this quickly.
Thank God.
Mr. C's got a hard stop at 9. What do you got?
Hard stop. No ifs, ands, or buts.
You got coconuts? What's coconuts?
I don't know. Ben's saying coconuts because it rhymes with butts. I don't know.
He's a rhyming machine.
That's his go-to. If you can't think of anything else, he just rhymes with the last word he heard.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, no. All right.
Eerie vibes, man. Eerie vibes.
Oh, we have 9 viewers. Oh my god.
Wow, we're up to 9
Oh
already.
my god.
Oh my goodness.
We are unprepared.
Eerie, man.
Feeling irie. All right, that looks good. Benny, you look good. Krish, you look good.
Karen Wu says viewing a sign. She's not happy.
Viewing a sign? What's she not happy about? Karen Wu, what are you not happy about?
Because it says welcome to Untitled Florida. It's just the sign of our podcast. She can't see us.
Untitled Florida Men. Yeah, all right. Well, let's go live. What do you say?
Dun,
You
dun,
ready?
dun.
All right. And we're back. What's up, Karen
Hey.
Wu? What's up, everyone?
Hi.
All right, there we go. Perfect.
Jen Defoe.
Again, Jen and everyone, sorry for being late. I was telling Mr. C that I've been having some work done on the vehicle, the Explorer, before I make the move next week. And when you're trying to do everything, when you're running errands, especially in your vehicle, when you're like trying to drop your vehicle off, there's no one to pick you up. If you don't have anyone to pick you up, you're reliant on rideshare. And rideshare right now, normally, before COVID, I could get 2 minutes. They're right there. Now it takes minimum 15 minutes. And I got scammed. Have you guys ever gotten this on the rideshare where you get a guy coming, They're going to be there 9 minutes. And then right before they get there, they like cancel the trip and you still get charged.
Rideshare? I'm not familiar with the rideshare. I don't do that.
He just means like Lyft or Uber.
Lyft or Uber.
What
do you mean?
Dumb,
How do
you
not-
dumb fuck.
Well, use the word Uber or Lyft. Come on.
Uber or Lyft, yeah. Well, they're not sponsors. They want
I
to
see.
sponsor the podcast and the
No, I've been scammed a couple times by.
yeah,
Me
it's-
and
rideshare
Mr. C
apps.
got scammed pretty bad one time.
yeah. What was
When
your
we were-
scam?
We were going to.
Yeah, Benny got scammed.
We were
It's pretty bad.
going on the boat, and we had a reserve time.
Yeah.
And my guy was just going in like loops and circles,
Right.
like not even coming to me. So I'm like, all right, well, let me check it. Let me get an Uber
Right.
and see what the difference is. And it's the same exact guy.
Of course. What's
So
the
Scammer.
so all he does is drive around waiting for you to cancel, so
Right.
that way you charge. So I reported his ass.
That's good.
Hell
I
yeah.
think that's what this guy did. Yeah, it's rideshare justice. Karen Wu asks, is the Camino gone? The Camino is still in my driveway. I've got a deposit on it. I got to call the guy that was on my to-do list today, but I ran out of time. I mean, I guess
We
I
got to
could still
zip
text
through
him.
this stuff.
Yeah, we got to
too.
zip through this. We
Yeah,
got to.
come on, what are we
Let's do
doing?
this.
We don't
Let's
have
do
time
this
for a
shit.
lot of.
She's
uh,
got a hard cutoff tonight,
Mr.
guys.
C's
Yeah,
got a
come on,
hard
man. What are
cutoff.
you doing?
We've got 7 stories to cover, so
Let's do it, baby.
let's do
Do
it.
your intro.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, I'm gonna transition back, and then we'll cut in. Here we go.
What is that thing around your neck?
That is. Oh, I can probably take this off now. That's my mask. So I wear a neck gaiter, so I can just like quickly pull it off.
Oh,
true.
yeehaw, buddy.
Yeah, baby. All right.
Gator.
Should I take this off? Let me take this off.
You don't have to.
You can put it around your neck. What's that show that you like, Benny? Outer Banks. They do that. Everyone's doing it now.
He loves it. He loves the Outer Banks. It's his favorite show.
Outer Banks. Heard good things.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Untitled Florida Men Project, or the Florida Person Project. We're going to be doing a lot of both tonight. A show that brings you the top stories about America's favorite citizen, the Florida person. Each week we dive deep into our headlines made possible by the Sunshine Act of 1976. But in order to navigate the mind of the Florida man, you'll need guides familiar with the swamps, rivers, beaches, theme parks, and homogenous strip malls that litter the landscape of the Sunshine State. To know the Florida man, you've got to be a Florida man. That's why I'm here. I'm one of your 3 native Floridians, Roger Roper, and alongside me are my 2 co-hosts, Benny Buffett
Hi.
and Mr. C.
Hello.
You can subscribe to our Twitch channel for free via your Amazon Prime account. We also want to hear from you in the chat, as well as send us your Twitch bits. Additionally, what's he doing?
Karen Wu
what is
wants
this?
to know if
What is this?
Benny Buffett's okay.
What is this guy? He's having an aneurysm over here. He's all
She's legitimately worried about him.
he's turning red.
You okay, BB?
All right, do we need
Karen Wu's calling you BB.
You, you can subscribe to our Twitch channel for free via your Amazon Prime account. Also, hang out with us in the chat and send us your Twitch bits. Also, check out all the great content here on the Twitch channel every week. Tomorrow is Squad Goals. Thursday is Hanging with the King Bee, and Friday is Shappy Hour. Also, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Shat the Movies, and Shat on TV. Go to the website, shatthemovies.com and shatontv.com to know how to do that. That being said, boys, normally we kick off with your personal Florida Man moments of the month or the week. And I've got one real quick. Did a garage sale this weekend, trying to like a moving sale. And I had a guy come in, older gentleman. And it looks like he had trouble walking, like, just in life. And he comes up and he's like, so what do you got? And I'm like, I don't know, like electronics, books, you name it. And he's like, well, my grandson, he gave me this app. And he pulls up this app and starts scanning all of my objects to get their value. I'm like, dude, like it's a garage sale. It's $1.
Man.
He scans my Harry Potter books and he's like, these are only worth 35 cents. I was like, guy, if you want the entire set, give me like $4. And he's like, I'll give you 2. So we settled on 2.
Dude, that guy's
what a
like, that's his
hustler.
like thing of his day, man. That's
That's what he did. But
yeah, that's his whole day.
this COVID thing, outside of rideshare, Uber, Lyft issues, The effect that it's had on yard sales has been astronomical.
The yard sale
industry is hurting. Yeah.
How's
Damn
that?
it. We need a stimulus package right now for yard sales.
Damn
it.
Normally, are you on your system, Mike, or what mic are you using today? You're pretty hot right now. You're having aneurysms. Your
That's
mic
just
is all
him.
screwed
He's
up.
hot right now.
Right,
It's his
look
voice.
at him.
Yeah.
Well,
all
dude,
freaking out.
I got to think about the yard sale people, okay?
So when I first
He's on one today.
my first moving sale there we go. Hey, we get some bits because he's fired up.
Wow.
Hey, there it is. Thank you, all my 8882. My first yard sale when I moved in, I made like $400 or $500. This weekend, I only made like $200. So yeah, whatever.
Did anyone come and ask for anything that was about $3.50?
$3.50. No, people come in and inevitably, I had multiple people ask for guns and ammo.
For $3.50?
For $3.50.
Oh, yeah.
Guns and ammo is big. I had a dude ask if I had an anvil. I'm like,
An anthill?
No, an anvil. You remember
Like the one that Wile E. Coyote dropped on the Roadrunner?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of anvil. I'm like,
to what? To do what? What do you even use anvils for?
I don't know. Apparently, he thought I was an 18th
Stopping
century.
Roadrunners, dumb.
Yeah, we are out here. I guess he thought I was an 18th century blacksmith. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that was some weird things. But yeah, no, I mean, I sold a decent amount, but I took a big trip to Salvation Army. I got to do that again. And boy, I found some stuff in the attic that I hadn't seen in years. So I'm gonna Marie Kondo that shit. But that was my Florida man moment of the week. How about you guys? Anything good?
Yeah. I mean, I had some orange juice.
That's all you had. Just orange juice.
Yeah, I'm an ultra Florida man for having a bunch of orange juice.
You are fired up today. What is happening?
He's in a bad mood today.
Why is he in a
bad mood?
I don't know.
Why am I in a bad mood, Mr. C?
I don't know. Why are you in a bad mood? I don't know.
I'm not in a bad mood. You're the one who called me and said I was in a bad mood.
You're 30 minutes late to the podcast.
Me?
First of all, I was
You're
late
hot.
to the
You're screaming.
Well, listen,
Burst in my
okay, you
eardrums.
guys don't know what I just went through, all right? My team was down and I got strapped in the gulag and I had to go one-on-one.
Oh my God, dude. Roger Roper called it. He was like, I had your back. I was like, Benny doesn't play Modern Warfare until later in the night. But he was like,
play all day.
He's late because he's playing Modern Warfare. Come on, man.
Yeah. Listen, our cousin Gabriel is a whiz at Modern Warfare. We need to squad up because we can do 4 in that game, right? We need to squad up and
we can do more than 4.
Yeah, we need to do that.
If you buy the game, you can do more than 4.
Oh, well then I'll have to buy the game. All right. Mr. C, anything from you before we dive in? You've got the hard stop.
No, I don't got much personal Florida story. I drank orange juice too, I guess. I don't know.
In the grill.
Shit.
You're funny, Mr. C.
Yeah, the cool thing is Salvation Army and Goodwill are still accepting donations out here, which is nice. So
cool.
All right, let's dive into it. Our first Florida man story of the week. Let's get into it. What do you say?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Let's dive into it.
Speaking of diving into it, our first story comes from NBC Miami. This is a fun one.
Tell me about it, Raj.
I'm going to tell you about it. All right. The title here is Florida woman broke into neighbor's pool multiple times for skinny dipping. Apparently, a Florida woman was arrested this weekend after police say she allegedly broke into her neighbor's Southwest Florida pool several times this past weekend for a simple reason: to go skinny dipping. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to the Inglewood home starting Friday after the owner said his pool cage had been cut open. A report said deputies collected cigarettes, keys, and women's underwear, but no arrests were made. Guys, did you used to do this? You used to break into your neighbor's pool and use it when they weren't there?
Once a weekend.
Once a weekend.
Wait, actually, Benny.
I used to.
Benny did something much more criminal than that, actually.
Really?
All the time.
Yes, I was never involved because I was a good boy, but Benny used to break into the community pool.
Okay.
And him and like some of my other friends and his friends would like steal liquor bottles from this place. And it was like a tradition. Like you went and did it every like other weekend.
From the community?
Wait a sec, dude. Stop lying in your tracks.
That's 100% truth.
You're exaggerating it. We didn't steal liquor. We drank liquor at my community pool house with a bunch of people.
All right. I'm not gonna say I don't want to incriminate them, but I don't think that's
okay.
True,
So at least it was a community pool, because I've done that. I've snuck into community pools. I've gotten kicked out of the Gaylord Palms pool for not being a guest there. That was one thing that we used to do. We used to crash hotel
Mr.
pools.
Badass over here.
No, I'm listen. It was the worst moment of my life. I hated it.
The worst moment of your life, getting kicked out of a Gaylord Palms pool.
Yeah, because they called the cops on us.
Wait, but this lady, she broke into like a residence pool?
She broke into her neighbor's pool. Apparently, the following day, the homeowner said he saw his 22-year-old neighbor swimming in the pool naked from a security camera installed while he's quarantined in Canada. So apparently he's he's in Canada. We have a lot. We have a lot of these in Florida. We have a lot of these in Arizona. We have snowbirds, people that live across the border, but because of COVID right now, the Canadian border, it was just extended. You can't go into Canada and you can't come out of Canada into the United States, I think, until the end of August now. I think it was just extended. So he's at home in Canada. He's still got his power on. He's got his security cameras, and he looks and he sees his 22-year-old neighbor, who apparently has been doing this repeatedly, so much so that he told deputies that he sent her letters asking the woman to stay off his property. He even had people put signs up to stay off. Deputies found those letters in her home during a search, as well as several knives matching the one at the scene. So what would you do here if you're quarantined in Canada and you see your 22-year-old skinny dipping in your pool?
You want me to say what I would do?
I mean, yeah.
Wait, this girl's 22?
She's 22.
What I would do is I would start recording each session.
Right.
And then have a collection of these videos.
Not for
for my personal self.
No, this is not.
And then very odd.
I would keep them in a category folder.
Right. Would you? And then, for the police, right? For evidence.
No.
When you're Buffett's a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's personal use. And then when I come back down, I will show her a highlight video.
You're gonna open up your video editor and make it like a highlight reel out of this.
Yeah, I would do like slow-mo too of her getting ready to jump into the pool.
Slow-mo, okay.
And just expose her and be like, listen, this is what you're doing. Here's a highlight video of you.
This sounds terrible.
You'd show it to her.
You would show it to her, like in a shameful manner. Like, look what you did. Like, I know what you're doing.
Yes, I would be like, this is a highlight montage of you. Right. I kept a couple of these on the side, so I didn't include them in the highlight reel.
Why would you keep them on the side?
Well, I mean, listen, different strokes for different folks.
I mean, this is terrible.
That's psychopathic.
Yeah, this sounds like the cops would be looking.
Well, how else am I supposed to get even?
Yeah.
I think you and this girl would actually probably be good friends.
What's the normal thing to do? I don't know what the normal.
Well, the normal thing to do is I think what this Canadian guy did, because it's not so much like, well, here's what I would do.
What would you do, Raj?
Well, this sounds like.
Hey, ma'am.
Yeah, Raj.
I can see you on my recorder. Can you please put on some clothes?
No.
And put on some Make sure you have some floaties.
I'm glad.
Okay? I don't want to be liable
for safety. Right.
For safety purposes.
This is what I sound like to you. This is in your head.
Yeah. Raj's nose is always stuffy. Yeah.
I really feel like this is a missed opportunity here. Have you guys heard of the app Swimply?
No, I've heard about OnlyFans though.
All right.
But it sounds very dumb.
So Swimply is like Airbnb, but for renting your own personal swimming pools.
Stop.
So in 26 different states, you can list your pool, and then people can rent your pool by the hour.
What?
Yeah, so if this is a perfect opportunity for this guy. He's in Canada. He's in quarantine. He's not using his vacation home. He could, if his neighbor really enjoyed using his pool. It's hot. It's humid. It's a difficult time of the season. She probably doesn't have a pool of her own. Why not make a few bucks off of this versus getting the cops involved?
Is it like Airbnb? You decide, you determine how much it costs.
You're just gonna allow her to be naked in your pool?
Well, I mean, I'm sure.
There's rules.
I'm sure that you can put that in the app that you can't be naked, but
what if she doesn't follow the rules? Obviously, she doesn't follow the rules in general.
Then we fall back to your video highlight plan.
Well, Raj would make them send a picture first, and then he'd decide if he'd let them swim in there.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
You'd be like, listen,
I don't know that rule doesn't apply to you. Actually, you can actually swim.
You need to wear a one piece.
You guys are horrible. The Florida woman initially denied being at the scene, but her mother told deputies she does swim in the neighbor's pool often. So the mom is snitching on her here. She was arrested. She was arrested and charged with trespassing and burglary before bonding out. So that's our first story of the week. What do you guys think of this? What is anything in the chat? Anything?
0 gators.
0. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a normal day in the hood.
That's what I was gonna say. That seems pretty normal.
Yeah.
Not that crazy.
Yeah.
Not that crazy.
But we grew up in Florida, so
right.
What do we know?
Right. All right. Our next Florida story of the week comes from Benny, you've been out, you've been doing this. You've been doing a lot of fishing lately. You've been going out and doing this. You'll like this headline. Florida man catches huge fish from a rainbow unicorn floaty.
I've seen that.
A Florida man was caught on film wrestling with a giant fish from a relatively small. Yeah, this is in just outside of Clearwater, Florida, which I think Tarpon is near, right?
Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs.
That's a tarpon fish.
It's a tarpon fish, right? Here's the.
What's crazy about that is that sharks are always all over the place whenever you reel in a tarpon, and they're usually tired because they put up such a good fight.
Right.
So there's probably like a giant hammerhead shark lurking around that guy right now.
So here he is right here on the, I guess he went out on the boat and then launched his unicorn floaty from the boat. He's got a giant tarpon here.
Wow. Nice
I'm so
setup.
confused.
Okay.
Wait, how come wouldn't he be getting dragged out? How is he staying still? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't the fish just pull him?
Yeah, the fish is probably pulling him.
It does. Yeah.
Or is he attached to the boat? Like,
no, I don't think he's attached to the boat.
Pulled,
I don't see a rope here. He looks like he's. It looks like he's being recorded here, but like he literally wrangles this tarpon on the unicorn. But according to the fisherman, he says it makes him less intimidating to an extra large tarpon. And of course, obviously you see his friends here in the boat. So Benny, would you ever get on a unicorn floaty to go fishing?
Not for a tarpon. Like I said, dude, you usually catch those things in the past, and you know what? And every single time you fight a tarpon,
right,
there's always a shark that's like somewhere around, and like usually like you can't even pull the tarpon to the boat before, but you can't bring it's a rule that you can't bring the tarpon out of the water. You have to leave it in the water.
Why do you have to leave the tarpon in the water?
Yeah. And like you can't pull it out and take a picture of with it. It's like a rule.
That's interesting.
And usually like they're really tired by the end of the fight.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, almost probably 60% of the time that there's a shark that will come, or there's a shark around you.
And
so that guy, there's almost guarantee that there's a shark around that guy.
But you hook what you hook, right? Like, what are you supposed to do? This guy hooks a tarpon.
Right.
He's supposed to release. I mean, he doesn't know it's a tarpon, or can you tell as an experienced fisherman, like, oh, I got a tarpon online?
Well, if you're an experienced fisherman and you're targeting tarpon, usually you look for them and then you toss your bait out and to hook them. Because I mean, you have to be rigged a specific way to hook tarpon, have a specific bait.
What do you think about this guy? Is he experienced? I mean, he's in a unicorn float.
He's a man. That's that's a cool guy. That's a cool Florida guy.
He's definitely experienced.
Yeah, but
he's definitely a Florida man.
He's saying that the pool float doesn't disrupt, like it doesn't spook the fish as much as it would in a normal vessel, like from a boat.
No, because
he's like 5 feet away from a boat.
So you think his excuse for doing this is he's lying? You think he's
being sarcastic?
You think he did this for the gram?
Of course he did. It's a unicorn float.
Benny, how have you not thought of this, dude?
Yeah, how have you not done this, Benny?
Because I don't go fishing for tarpon by myself on a float.
Yeah, but even if you don't catch a tarpon, this is still a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have done it.
Would you, if you had to choose your raft of choice to go fishing off of, would unicorn be your first choice?
No, a giant shark would be.
Okay. But then you're just attracting other sharks at that point, aren't you? Or
but then they know, oh, hey, this guy's a shark too.
Oh, I see.
Let's let him be.
Got it. Well, I mean, that's
solid logic.
That's definitely solid logic.
That's something. Yeah, solid.
You can't beat that logic.
Well, speaking of sharks, our next Florida headline comes from New Smyrna Beach. You guys might have seen this one as well.
Well, let me guess, a lot of sharks.
Yeah. So this one, here we go. the headline is a Florida woman catches sharks underneath her board outside at New Smyrna Beach. So check this out. So here she is on her board.
Oh, it's when she has like a new GoPro or something.
It's actually an older GoPro, she said, but there's not one, not two, but 3 sharks, and she's pretty close to shore here. If you see the slow motion here, you see one right off the right, and then there's a second one.
Oh, wow. Look at those things.
Wow. That would scare the shit out of me.
How scared is she?
There's the other one. There's the third one there on the left. So there's 2 right there on the right, and then there's one on the left. So what started as an opportunity to test her GoPro camera turned into a Florida woman's wildest waves, spotting not 1, not 2, but 3 sharks. She's quoted as saying, "My 3-year-old has been getting really into surfing, and I wanted to see if my old GoPro still even works. So I took it out for a spin, and this was the first wave she caught." She says she'd been surfing since she was 5 years old, so she knew how to maneuver around the sharks. She kept cutting from side to side, as you can see here in the video. But
she's on like whitewash.
Yeah, the cool thing is her daughter was not with her. You asked Benny if at any point she was scared. She replied, "Oh no, not at all. I actually went straight back out again." I mean, when the water's that clear, you can really avoid them. So,
and it's like 2 feet of water that the sharks are.
Yeah, in. I mean, they're getting dangerously close here.
They don't look
like
sharks.
The sharks look like they were like 3 feet long. They look like baby sharks.
They are. That's usually the case in New Smyrna. They're all baby sharks.
They're juveniles, right? They're
and
juveniles.
Mr. C, you're a fake surfer. You like to pretend like you know how to surf.
Okay, first of all, this girl is right. She's talking about how she's a really good surfer. She's saying she's maneuvering. She's on whitewash. She's like literally riding in on whitewash.
Right.
You have a lot of experience with whitewash, right, Mr. C?
Yeah. Well, Benny, I'm a better surfer than you are. What do you guys say about that?
Mr. C, you can't even stand up.
I can't stand up.
You can't stand up.
I mean, I feel like that's the first rule of surfing. Like if you're surfing, you gotta be able to stand up.
Well, Benny's lying.
Mr. C thinks that he's surfing when his
Benny
stomach's
really,
on.
How about this? I'm just as good as a surfer as Benny is a fisherman. We'll put it that way.
Are you kidding
wow.
me, dude?
Wow.
You better walk backwards and out of the frame before I come through it.
Shots fired, and like Benny is hot and bothered today.
I don't know, man.
I mean, he
had a bad day.
He is not feeling it today. So Mr. C, do you know, like, is there a better time to avoid when sharks are out there, in your experience when surfing? Because I said this last week or the week before. One of the things I want to get back into is I want to do longboarding. Longboarding's, old man surfing. You just get up and take the whitewash in. But I'm a little afraid because New Smyrna is very similar to Daytona. It's just south of Daytona, and a lot of juvenile sharks are especially close to shore. It seems like this time of year.
I mean, all I know is that you're not supposed to surf like if you surf it like in the evenings, there's more likely of a chance you're going to run into a shark. But other than that, I don't really know. I mean, I grew up in Florida, like, regardless of surfing, like just being in the ocean, I've never seen a shark. So
yeah. Well, this Florida woman says, "We see them a lot when the water temperature changes, when the water's been so warm. And we're just starting to get that hint of cooler water moving in because of the upwelling. I think that's why they were right on cue. It's where we live. It's a beautiful place. And a few times a year, we just have to deal with the other locals."
Karen wants to know if they close the beach if sharks are spotted. I don't think so.
They do not close the beaches.
They just put up a flag.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, it's like, it's
like a red flag
it's like the Florida's approach to COVID. They're just like, yeah, you know what I mean? We don't care what you do. We put a flag out. It's fine. It's do what you want to do. She is quoted as saying, "I do think I need a new GoPro though. It's a little fuzzy." So there you go. There it is. There's the sharks. I don't know. I'm a little skittish with the sharks.
I don't like sharks.
I am not a fan of sharks.
Sharks or whatever.
Benny. So crazy. All right. Our fourth story, Florida man sings and reads to relax gators during pandemic. This comes from ABC Action News. A Florida man known as the Gator Crusader is claiming that the alligators can tell something is different because there aren't as many people around. Almost daily, the Gator Crusader puts on a show at Gator Golf, which is off of I-Drive in Florida and Orlando, but the park has been closed due to COVID pandemic. He's quoted as saying, "They don't know exactly what's happening, but they do register something is going on." In order for an alligator to eat out in the wild, they have to be very observant, and they are smarter than people think. Now, listen, if some guy's going to claim that alligators are smarter than we think, and his name is the Gator Crusader, I think I'm going to believe him, right? Like, that's...
They got the Abdullah Alligat, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
why
he might
they're
be
so ornery.
biased.
That's
He
why
loves the gators so much.
Right. So
That guy, I love that guy's pose right there.
Well, let's
He's
watch-
just like
That's what
hands
I'm
on the
laughing
hips
at.
and just getting ready to preach
Wide
to him.
stance. He has a strong stance. No one's not.
Yeah,
over.
he is the alligator man.
Oh wow. I had
Here
no
he
idea
is singing.
that was gonna happen.
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Serenading.
Oh. Wow, nice
Aw, little baby.
moves.
he's got the
Well,
Hulk
yeah.
Hogan thing coming up here.
This guy.
Oh, look at him. The little alligator is singing back.
It's just him and the Gators. He's probably wow.
Mr. Chomper is here.
Hulkamania's here to eat some gators.
So
He's trying to be the next Joe Exotic. I feel like I'm getting that vibes.
I
I
get
think
that
like
vibe
he's
as
like,
well.
this is my opportunity.
Right.
You know, if Joe can do it with tigers, yep,
Right.
definitely. He's definitely trying to be the Joe Exotic of alligators. I think he's trying to go
true.
for it.
That's true.
100%.
You think this guy is trying to capitalize on the Joe Exotic situation?
Yes. I think he's like, listen.
So he's created his name.
What's his
Gator,
name again?
The Gator Crusader. That's his name.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this guy wants some TV time that we should give him.
Really? Well, he says the first day or two, I had one or two alligators that would just kind of sit back in the pen. Like, I don't know what's happening. It's weird, he said. And then I started singing to him. Obviously, you just saw some clips of him singing. I also read them book. I talked to them, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, I know this guy. It's okay. So do you think alligators know this guy? Do you think, like, first of all, what's your favorite costume that he wore here? Do you like the old...
I like the Hulk Hogan shirt.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
The Hulk
Gotta
Hogan
respect
one,
that.
because he's ripping the shirt off while he's doing it as well. Like, he's
Because
doing...
Hulk Hogan's a true Florida man too.
He is. He's from Clearwater, Florida. I like the pirate costume that he's doing here. Like, this looks like Vince Neil from Poison.
I would say that's the Crocodile Dundee hat.
Yeah, we got the Crocodile Dundee hat, and then you have...
Dude, that gator's
Oh, the
coming after
pirate.
him.
There he is.
Yeah.
Wow, look at those. Whoa.
Look at these gators right here.
That's my man right there.
You can.
That's Benny in the back sleeping, not doing anything.
Wait, where?
There he is. You can.
Where's the guy that was sleeping? Are you
Just
talking
sleeping.
about as a gator?
Yeah, late to his podcast. That's Benny in the back.
Subscribe. See, dude, he wants to be the Joe Exotic.
He wants to be
Florida.
interviewed. He wants to be interviewed. He wants
We
to
should
be...
many
definitely
views
interview this
How many
guy.
views does that have?
This guy is pretty popular. He posts wild videos on his YouTube channel. You just search for Gator Crusader. He gets extremely close to the alligators during live shows, which you've seen here. He said he's loved alligators since he was a child, and even told his school counselor in high school he already knew he wanted to perform with gators as a teenager. And he's taken the
Bullshit.
he's taken this change in his personal work as an opportunity to reach a more global audience. He's been live streaming his shows and posting videos to YouTube channel daily.
Well, I think if he figures if he's YouTube famous, he can afford more meth.
Right.
So I think
No, I don't think this guy. I think this guy truly enjoys what you're seeing here in these videos is a guy who found his calling. I don't think he's on drugs. I don't think anything like that. I think he genuinely cares for the alligators, and he's doing it for the right reasons. I don't think he owns this park.
Well, that's because alligators you really don't. I mean, you know.
I mean,
No one really cares. No one cares about alligators, right? People care a lot about lions and tigers, but in the grand scheme of things, though, unless you really abuse alligators, I don't think people care as much.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. C, right?
Hello, this is Ryan.
Rye. A meeting.
It's his Uber Eats order. They don't have egg rolls.
Unprofessional, Raj. Karen Wu said
Raj,
this.
just because listen, if your Uber Eats calls and they say they don't have egg rolls, you don't pick up the call mid convo. Okay?
That's my shipping.
Come on, Raj.
That's my moving shipping company. They listen. I tried to.
Yeah, I know. Moving your egg rolls and your Chinese food. I get it.
No.
Okay. Just because you want to create a fancy name for it, Raj.
Now I'm
doesn't
hungry.
make it
Now I'm
correct.
hungry for Chinese food.
I could have
me
easily
too.
continued the conversation with Benny, but I wanted to put Raj on the spot
really
and make
did.
it really
Too.
quiet. so
I
everyone
was
could hear
about
the
to as well, and I was like,
conversation.
I wanted to see like what he was talking about.
Hey,
No,
yeah, can I call you? Can I
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
But no.
well, they call it. They called like 15 times. And I didn't know if it was, I don't know, whatever. This is
anyways, this guy.
I like this guy.
Pretty cool. I like this guy.
I'm a fan.
I would like to hang out with him.
I think we should try to get this guy on the show.
He would probably love. This guy would probably love.
This guy would love to be on the show. So
100%.
We're gonna get this guy. We're gonna get the Gator Crusader on.
We should invite him over for sushi.
Dude, gators are so lethargic. Look at them.
Yeah, I love them. They're just big
lizards.
Sit there. They're big lizards. Look how cute they are. They're not like crocodiles. I'm gonna listen. Subscribe to the Gator Crusader.
People know your first name, Raj.
Do they know my first name? That's all right.
Yeah, Jen Defo.
Oh, how many do we have? We have 10 viewers. All right, our 10 viewers can know my
dox him.
My nerd name. All right, here we go. So that's the Gator Crusader. All right. All right, here we go. Last we got a couple more stories here, and then Mr. C's got to get off here. Our next story, this is a fun one, guys. So you guys have known that obviously there's a mandatory mask call in a lot of different counties and cities. In Florida, this one happens to come from Tampa. According to TampaBay.com, they've compiled some of the best 911 calls. So apparently, there's a lot of people calling 911 because of the mask requirement for various reasons. So I've curated some of my favorite ones, and I wanted to get your opinion on some of them. This one comes back from June 18th. A heavily intoxicated man. This is what the 911 operator has logged. June 18th, heavily intoxicated man arguing with a security guard over his refusal to wear a mask at a Clearwater mall. Man yelled and threatened to beat up the guard. June 20th, church group handing out pamphlets to cars with no masks. June 23rd, man from hotel saying he wanted police to explain if he was allowed to wear a mask while carrying a concealed weapon. Police said they could not provide legal advice. So, I mean, who do you call to on this? Like, if you're gonna call 911, you're not calling for legal advice, are you?
No. I'm just not calling 911 in that situation at all.
Yeah, I'm minding my own business.
Yeah. June 23rd, man in flamingo shirt refused to wear a mask at a cafe. Clerk tried to sell him one. Customer leaned over counter. Clerk felt threatened, threw a metal stool. Customer threw it back, striking the clerk in the head.
Raj, where'd you find this?
That one?
Where'd you find this picture for the story?
Oh,
I know, it's pretty artistic.
It's very dramatic.
It's very dramatic, right? Yeah. It's just,
strong shadows.
Is that like a 1998 Toyota Camry?
That's the official Florida man car. This is the 1998 Toyota Camry.
I was a little bit upscale. I had a 2001.
All right, stick shift.
Anyways, yeah.
June 20. That's 2020 in a photo right there. Yeah. June 25th, man threatening to shoot Wawa employee after she told him to put a mask on. June 26th, cool. These keep progressively worse. June 26th, woman calling to complain that her brother, who tested positive for COVID-19 2 days earlier, was not quarantining because he felt fine. He had visited Cheddar's, Fat Cat Tavern, Family Dollar, and Publix without a mask.
Yes.
You're gonna affect everyone in
Florida. We got a super spreader out here, and we got family turning on family. First of all, I'm not gonna go to Cheddar's or Fat Cat Tavern. I mean, that's a busy day for a Florida man right there.
Going to the Dollar General and then going to Cheddar's for a celebration.
June 27th, no masks at a children's beauty pageant held at the West Shore Ramada. First of all, why are children's beauty pageants still happening during the pandemic?
I knew a girl that was a judge and that went to one Saturday.
It feels like that's the least essential activity that needs to be going on right now.
Who cares if kids get infected, right? We're just gonna open up schools, and then if everyone gets infected, who gives a shit?
I mean, this is a precursor. June 28th, man driving his truck in circles around Advanced Auto Parts building after threatening to ram his vehicle into the store when he was denied entry due to no mask.
That's my kind of guy.
That's your guy right there.
Just being like, I'm going to waste my own gas until they let me in.
Yeah. June 29th, caller ordered a lift kit for his golf cart, but received a package containing 3 masks instead. Wants a PayPal refund. Officer explained this was a civil matter. So,
oh my God, people are freaking out.
Yeah, people are freaking out. July 1st, 50-year-old man at Costco repeatedly throwing mask on floor whenever a manager approaches him about the store's mask rule. So people are turning into
I'd
children.
love to see that.
People are turning into children. Also on July 1st, a woman
They can't handle it.
A woman while on the phone with police confronts a maskless man in a McDonald's parking lot as he climbs back into his dump truck. She could be heard telling the dump truck driver she was going to approach everyone who is not wearing a mask. So she's now mask police.
She's that a lot lizard?
She's the Batman. Well, she might be. Well, this is in a McDonald's. It's not in a truck stop. Although it could be McDonald's at a truck stop. Yeah, she's the
lizard.
A lot lizard.
July 2nd, disturbance involving 2 men at Dollar General refusing to wear masks. Someone pulled out a KKK mask just to make light of the situation.
Oh my god, dude. What is wrong with people?
First of all, who's carrying around their KKK mask?
Did he take it out of his pocket? Like,
yeah,
where is he hiding
yeah,
that thing?
And he's using it as a joke, to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, that's a good idea,
Because
bro.
immediately when I put on my KKK mask, things
Everyone
just
will calm
calm down. Right, exactly.
Jeez, dude.
What's wrong with people? What is wrong with Florida sometimes?
I don't know.
WTF, man.
These are actual 911 phone calls. July 3rd, Universal Fine Wine and Spirits employees refusing to serve customer who said she could not wear a mask due to a medical issue. The customer called 911. Now, first of all, this was also at 11:12 p.m. If you have a medical issue, what the fuck are you doing at Universal Fine Wine and Spirits at 11 o'clock at night? You know what I mean?
You need a nice cab to go to sleep, I guess.
Yeah, try and drink the pain away.
Maybe.
Very common medicine.
Yeah.
And then finally on July 4th, harassment complaint against the Sports Shack. Caller says he is being singled out, being asked to wear a mask inside the bar when others are not. Says he is a veteran and feels disrespected because July 4th is his holiday. He advised the officer that he is a militia member, and when Antifa comes to Larghetto, he will stand shoulder to shoulder with Largo police.
There you go.
It's his holiday, really?
It's his holiday.
It is his holiday. He deserves to be free.
Wow.
America fought for their independence.
He's so
those
oppressed.
Antifa guys with those AKs come around.
He'll stand shoulder to shoulder. Right.
And he's going to be the first one to shoot.
Right, exactly.
He wants to do that, dude. Oh, he'd get off to that. He'd love that.
Oh, man. He would
If he could shoot some liberals, man, he'd love it.
You don't need Cialis when you got an AR-15. I'll tell you what.
It's his holiday. Antifa's going to get him.
Big time.
All right. Florida man. Well, again, we got COVID. People are upset about masks. Well, one Florida man's taken matters into his own hand. He has convinced a town mayor to let him spray the town with hydrogen peroxide to kill, and this is in quotes, to kill all the COVID-19. This comes from Fox 13 News in Wauchula. The city of Wauchula gave the go-ahead for a resident to spray the city's streets with a chemical most of us have in our medicine cabinet, hydrogen peroxide. The man owns an agricultural spraying company, and he brought the idea to a Hardee County city. He's quoted as saying, "I think every city in the damn United States needs to be doing it. No questions asked." I was listening to the different doctors. They were saying about how the virus can stay airborne. And I'm like, dang, so can I. Even if the chemical doesn't come in contact with the airborne virus particle, he believes it would still be beneficial when it lands on the ground. He's quoted as saying, what goes up comes down. You don't use up your bullet. Your bullet is still going to react when it hits the booger down on the floor. So he's comparing.
I like the logic.
Yeah, this is classic Florida man logic. So apparently he's saying, if I spray the hydrogen peroxide in the air, just like a bullet, it'll eventually come down and kill the booger. Right.
He's on to something.
He's on to something here.
I think
is the booger like a reference to the virus?
I think so. Ooh. Or just a random object that he shoots with bullets.
He needs to be in the World Health Organization. I think we need to kick everyone out. I think Trump's doing it right. Trump's really disavowing the World Health Organization.
We're not in it anymore, Ben. We're not in it.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, maybe we'll jump back in if this guy is in.
Well,
because this guy obviously knows what he's doing.
Well, over the counter, hydrogen peroxide is usually a 3% concentration. This Florida man's solution is slightly stronger at 5%, a level he says is still perfectly safe.
In true Florida fashion.
He sprays the entire town in his trucks, as you can see here, even Advent Health, where he sprays the hospital entrance and parking lot. The city, a city councilman is saying this is a good test, a good product. We are the perfect site to try and experiment with this. The CDC, however, lists hydrogen peroxide as an effective disinfectant only on surfaces. During the pandemic, some hospitals have used it to clean face masks they were forced to reuse. However, nothing is listed pertaining to large-scale spraying or fogging. And Professor Ira Richards at the University of South Florida's College of Public Health said that there is little to no research on aerosolized hydrogen peroxide to know if it would be effective against the COVID-19. He's quoted as saying, "There's just too much that we don't know to make an assessment. We don't know about the efficacy against the virus." So,
okay, did I miss something? This is just some random guy, right?
This is a guy who
He's
lives
not just a random guy, Mr. C.
I'm just confused. Like, why are scientists commenting on this? Like,
well,
because
that hit the
science.
news and they were like, oh wait, this actually might work, and they tried to figure out if it worked or not. Or
well, obviously. So this guy, he owns an agricultural spraying company in the city of Wauchula. He goes in front of his city council and he says, "Listen, I'll take my trucks and I'll spray hydrogen peroxide. I've been doing some research, and hydrogen peroxide seems to kill things that it touches. So what I'll do is I'll up the ante. There's no science behind this, but I think this might work. I'll just increase the strength of it, and we'll go around town spraying it. And this will stop the spread of COVID-19.
So this guy walks into his council.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's about to say like this really, really, really smart, like revolutionary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says that.
Why are you denying it?
And then he says about the booger. Right. That's his...
The booger.
The booger. Just like a bullet, what goes up must come down. So...
Greatest analogy of all time.
Yeah, so there is no... again, like, I used to think that watching zombie movies were completely... like out of left field. Like, there's no way any of this could actually happen. We're seeing it right now play out. Like, no one knows what to do. We're just trying different things. But
people are telling us what to do, kind of. Like, people that are smart are telling us what to do. Well, people that are educated in the subject, at least, are telling us what to do.
They're saying...
I listen to Trump, and that's it.
Jeez. I'm going to send you back to the gulag. All right. Our final story of the week is a nice one. The title, Florida woman works as dishwasher so she could visit husband with Alzheimer's. So this is interesting. This comes from thelatinpost.com. When you love somebody, guys, you will do anything to be with that person. Not even the deadliest virus, a global pandemic, not the strictest lockdown could ever kill true love. Neither a 5% hydrogen peroxide solution being sprayed across your city. This is true for a Florida woman who took the job as a dishwasher at the Florida Memory Care Unit to visit her husband every day. Ever since Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida issued an emergency order in March that prohibited the visitations to nursing homes, assisted living, and other long-term facilities due to the increasing number of COVID infections, she was unable to see her husband. So a very sad situation. So the way around it, just to be with her husband every day, she took a job. She applied to be the memory care unit's dishwasher. Her 66-year-old husband has been in the facility because he has Alzheimer's disease. When the job was offered to her, she immediately accepted it to be with her husband every day. In an interview with CNN News, she's going to be the best dishwasher and needs the job because she wants to be with her husband. She was thrilled when she learned that she could see her husband after 114 days. So how heartwarming is this?
That's beautiful.
This is fucking great, right?
I want to do a video about them.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff that we need to do videos on. You're right. Before she started working as a dishwasher in the memory unit, though, this is the hoops that she had to go through. She had to go into different tests for COVID-19, tuberculosis. She had to go through a drug test and a 20-hour video training. She described it as totally legit. She added that she is going to use her paychecks. This is cool. She's going to use her paychecks to do something beautiful for the staff at the Alzheimer's. Aww. So she's not even accepting a paycheck. And this is Waterworks here, guys. She said that even her husband came up from behind her immediately when he saw her and hugged her. And even though he has Alzheimer's disease, he can still remember her. She also has said that there's no question about it because even when she's wearing a mask and he has Alzheimer's, her husband can still see her. He even called her by her name and when he gave her the biggest hug, and they both started crying. So
where is this?
This is in, where was this? I don't know. I didn't write it down.
What was the hospital?
It's Florida Memory Care Unit.
Yeah.
It's
research.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research on this, but I mean, this is a pretty cool story. I like this.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's sucks, dude.
Yeah, Alzheimer's is a bitch for sure. Worst
way to go, man. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know anybody who's personally that just went through it.
No, No,
grandfather.
but I've got a friend. Oh yeah, I guess our biological grandfather.
It's in Jacksonville.
Oh, it's in Jacksonville. Oh, well, we should go up there.
Hey,
let's do this.
Love story, Aqueous Films.
Perfect. So, yeah, that is now, Mr. C. I know you have a hard stop here, so
I got 10 minutes. We'll do a 10-minute exit round. How about that?
All right. Well, let's go to the chat. That's all the stories that we had here. Sorry for the fast pace.
We kind of neglected the chat today.
Yeah,
so let's
apologize for that. But I talked to my friend about this though. Have you guys heard about CRISPR, like gene editing?
Yes. Yeah. I watched an explained video on it.
They're dangerously close to fixing Alzheimer's.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Not dangerously, but
I mean, like
close.
Yeah.
No, but they are close to this, which I think is cool.
Are they really?
Yeah, I think it'll be solved in our lifetime. That's what the experts are predicting him. So my buddy's a director with Express Scripts. I won't say his name, but he said there's a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of the biotech firms right now. It's almost like the early 2000s for information technology startups. What's happened over the last 5 to 10 years is there's a lot of biopharmaceutical, biotech startups that have littered both the East Coast and California. And what's happening is these big pharmaceutical firms are going in and buying them and buying their research, buying their science that they've neglected. And now with the resources that they have behind them of these big companies, they're predicting that these gene editing, if it can get approval by the government, can start to solve a lot of these debilitating diseases in our lifetime, which I think is pretty cool.
Two-Tone Karma with the question of the year. If you would edit a gene for one thing for yourself, what would it be?
Oh, geez.
Dick size.
Oh, God. Hey, and her next comment is, don't say package.
Oh, does she really?
Yeah, check.
We're getting canceled tomorrow. I can't wait till I get an email from Gene Lyons saying you guys were horrible.
He's not gonna like that, is he?
He's not gonna like this. We're gonna be canceled.
Yeah, but who wouldn't want to do that?
No, you know what I would
think that would be the thing I'd want to change.
You know what I would do? And I don't know if this is a gene or not, but obviously, I mean, from a selfish perspective, I'd love to keep as much of my hair on my head as possible.
Oh,
yeah, that's that's like the vein. That's what I'd probably say.
And I know it's
100%.
I know it's vain, and I know it's terrible. But also, I think people have also said that there's a fat gene as well. I mean, I don't know if there is or not.
Is there an intelligence gene, like something that makes you like super intelligent?
Can we do that? No. Yeah, if they can cure baldness, I mean, you saw what happened.
That you can do. That's like a DNA trait.
It is a DNA trait, right? It's a recessive trait.
So they should be able to do something about that.
Yep, exactly.
I got to do a deep rabbit hole about the whole CRISPR thing. Joe Rogan had someone on it that was really good. I think it was David Sinclair. Apparently,
Gene is logged in and been listening to this now. All right.
Cool. David Sinclair, he had a thing with Joe Rogan, and that was I think that was the I'm looking at notes right now.
What do you think about the morality of it? Like where it can lead to?
The morality of gene splicing and like gene editing.
Where you can because eventually at some point you just be able
You're going to have designer kids. You're going to have designer babies. Exactly. And you know, I try to put myself in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, and I know this is not, I've never had a child, so I can't say what I would do or wouldn't do. But if I knew, because they can detect anomalies early on in pregnancy, and I would hope that I wouldn't think this, but I mean, if I'm thinking honestly to myself right now, if I knew that there was a debilitating disease that would prevent the quality of life of my child, and we could safely terminate the pregnancy to where it's not like a late-term pregnancy or something like that, it'd be something that I would consider. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I don't see that.
If I know that the baby's going to be born brain dead and
autistic,
or no, not autistic. No, there's nothing wrong with autism. There's nothing wrong. I mean, as we learn more and more about that, but I'm talking about someone who legitimately is going to have a bad quality of life for the majority of their life, and there could be complications related to the birth of the child, I think that's a decision that the parents would have to make.
Right. But that's like where the morality comes in.
Right.
You know, if someone's like, well, I don't want my kid to be autistic, even though like a lot of people don't consider that something that needs to be fixed. Do you think that it's morally wrong for a parent to say, well, I don't want my kid to be autistic, so
and that's why I said
that's that.
Because I feel like that's probably
like
the one
that's
that's
what's
like
going to happen.
Most common or whatever, right? That's going to be like, where do you draw the line in the sand?
Well, and that's what a lot of people are asking. But like when I think of designer babies, I think of people like with gene editing that people are going to be
Blue
okay with. They're going to be like, I want blue. You know, my grandfather had blue eyes, so I want my child to have blue eyes. Like,
is there anything morally wrong with that? I mean,
I don't know. I think you're now playing God, and I think that's what a lot of people's problems with it are. Is, you know, you're basically going to a kiosk and you're picking out the different. You're building a sim. You're building your character in Modern Warfare. And I don't.
That's
I want
interesting
elf
game.
ears.
You know what I mean?
High sense
I guess the moral dilemma about it is like you're making a choice for a child that has no say in what's happening to them. So you're like, well, I want this kid to have this and that, or blue eyes and blonde hair,
right.
and or I want whatever elf ears or whatever it might be that they could design their baby. But then it's like that baby's born. It's like, well, I had no say in all these choices you made about how you made me look. You know, I think that's where it comes down to like, what, you know, whose rights are you respecting?
Well, I'll tell you what, like, had I known that both my parents would have short, stubby fingers, and there was a way that I could avoid that and not have short, stubby fingers, I would have done that. Your fingers
swell too,
and they swell really bad. Like when I drink, like I already have big hands.
Really?
I have
that's
big,
a catcher's mitt there.
That's why it's the only position I could play in baseball was catcher. So,
you played in bed too.
How dare you? So
wow.
But like that wasn't my choice. But that's what I was born with, and so I think there's an element to, I mean, this is what the Royals used to do, though, right? They used to play eugenics. Yeah. Well, this was, I mean, like it was a medieval form of gene editing, but they would all intermarry within themselves because they thought their blood was royal blood. Yeah, I think we're going to get into a Gattaca situation. That's what's going to happen. People with
I haven't seen Gattaca.
You haven't seen Gattaca?
No.
Go check it out. So
that's interesting.
Well, two-tone karma. Yeah, the Royals would just bang each other. Why do you think they did that? Because they wanted a pure bloodline. They only wanted the pureness. And then you look at the Habsburg paintings and you're like, ugh, what's going on here? Yeah,
I think eugenics.
Humans are best when they're like dogs, right? Like
just bang anything? No.
The more you intermingle different breeds, the healthier they are. The most healthy dogs are mutts. They're not purebreds. Purebreds are terrible. Horrible.
Yeah, health-wise,
terrible. Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Absolutely terrible. So yeah, the more we can, what's the word I'm looking for? Diversify the gene pool, the better off we are as a species. So.
Yeah, it's a weird one. That's gonna come around in our lifetime. So it'll be.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have I think it's gonna start in different ways that you were not expecting. It's gonna be like, well, your family is susceptible for breast cancer, and you may have had 3 or 4 of your family members die because of breast cancer, and then the doctor's gonna say, hey, we could edit the DNA of your child and remove that. Like, we've discovered a way to ensure that your child will never face breast cancer.
And in that sense, it's amazing.
And so in that case, but again, that's what's going to happen. And then it's the same argument.
Well, then if they can't do it in the United States, they're going to go to a different country and get it done.
That's you're going to have black market. You're going to have black market gene editing. And that's, I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah. And I heard like China's already like, I felt like I thought I read something where like they're already trying to create rules about it, and like there's like a scientist in China that's kind of breaking those rules. And
yeah.
I tell you what, if you thought the evangelical Christians had a problem with abortion, wait till this comes around.
It's going to be bad.
Oh, it's going to be a religious.
It's going to be it's going to be
big time.
It's going to be big time. There's going to be a very big argument for it or against it.
It's going to be pro-life versus pro-choice, like 2.0.
But we faced this stuff before. It's like
it's the new abortion.
No. It goes back further than that. So there was the church was against vaccinations for a long time.
And then after vaccinations, it was.
Yeah.
Against abortions.
Well,
there's always something new that comes out.
There's always something new
like
when it's science related.
We're slowly more and more starting to play God.
Yeah. That's okay.
You know? I mean, it's the evolution of technology.
in the evolution of humans.
You can't halt
I mean,
progress.
playing God is good sometimes.
Sometimes.
like
getting rid
Listen,
of
I'll say this. My mom is at MD Anderson right now. She had her fucking test today. Tomorrow she'll get the diagnosis or she'll get the prognosis of. There's 3 different trials that they're gonna put her in, and I tell you what, if there was a way for me to go in and change her DNA and her genes to ensure that my mom would stay alive for the next 30 years, absolutely, I'm doing it.
Right.
Everyone does.
Everyone.
And like that's not really playing God. That's just science. That's just
I look at it as
to help people.
Maybe God wanted us to learn.
He gave us the ability. He gave us the ability to discover these things. So
right.
If that's how you want to look at it.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, Mr. C, I think that was your 10 minutes. It's 6:20.
Yeah.
Jen
exactly an hour long.
Take off. Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe. Check out all the great content here on the channel. Where's my script? There it is. That concludes this week's episode of the Untitled Florida Men Project. Again, follow us on social media. We're at the Florida Men on Twitter. We're at the Florida Men Pod on Instagram. What?
Wait, you used a script?
Yeah, right? That's how. Imagine if I didn't, how horrible it would be. On behalf of my co-host, Big Benny and Mr. C, I'm Roger Roper. Check us out. Thanks for listening. Take care. Good night.
Peace.
Peace.